Every action has a reaction.
Right.
Like Biden went so stupidly far toward a pretty much come one, come all, just walk right in policy.
Yeah.
And they have to own that to a degree.
Right.
Again, I do not support what Trump is doing, but I get where it comes from.
Yeah.
Action, reaction.
Right.
If you go that far left, what do you expect? You are going to get people who come in and go that far right.
Yeah.
So in a way, and if you don't win the election, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Democrats have a lot of looking in the mirror to do.
That's political commentator and man who said he'd vote for Biden's head in a jar, Bill Maher, admitting to controversial comedian Tony Hinchcliffe just how disastrous Sleepy Joe was for the country and the Democrat Party. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like comedian and unexpected Trump supporter Tony Hinchcliffe got a front row seat to something you don't see every day. Bill Maher finally torching Biden's failure of a presidency. From the border crisis to the death of the Democrat Party, here he is reluctantly acknowledging that short-sighted and power-hungry liberals are to blame for the position they're now in.
Now, have they nibbled at the edges? Yes. Have they invited? As always, like we were saying with the other thing, there's always an invited backlash when you go too far. So, did Joe Biden do things that were imperial presidency things? Yes, of course he did. He said in his own words something like, well, the Supreme Court said I couldn't give student loans, but I'll find a way. Okay, that's not nearly what Trump is doing, but it invites that kind of argument from the right, which says, you know what, they all do it. And you know what? That's the problem. If you move a little bit here, Trump's going to go, oh, well, I'll king me. I'll just jump over you and go 10 steps further and worse. Yeah. And so that's where we are. But it's just the leftist kind of thinking and that kind of stuff. Larry David said, I'm a Nazi.
He did?
Well, he said I had dinner with Hitler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, and I think literally when we say we do it to themselves, how dare anyone call Trump Hitler? That is such an insult to the Jewish people.
That's exactly what I said when I did an interview about it, that it's like, among other things, first of all, as soon as you play the Hitler card, you've kind of lost the argument, unless you're really dealing with Hitler, which, yes, we're not. But agreed, like it is quite insulting.
Maher isn't entirely wrong here. The left broke the rules to get ahead, blowing up the filibuster in 2013, pushing activist judges to rewrite marriage and life laws, and opening the floodgates to let millions of illegals pour into the country. And now that Trump is actually doing something about it, they want to clutch their pearls and act like he's the problem. I mean, just do the math. Trump would have to deport 10,000 illegals a day just to get us back to where we were before Biden wrecked the system. But where were the Democrats when Biden was letting all those people in? Heads buried in the sand pretending everything was fine. Now that Trump is cleaning up the mess, suddenly it's an extreme overreach. Democrats broke the system, and Maher just admitted it. Here's Hinchcliffe explaining to Maher why the right is winning the culture war and the left can't handle it.
Because they are as crazy in their own way. They're just not as dangerous.
Right. You mean the left isn't
The left
as dangerous?
is not as dangerous because they still believe...
I would say that they are. That's an interesting one, because it seems like the right-wingers are the ones with the guns and this and that, and we'll take... It feels that way, but I mean, all of a sudden, the last few years, I'm looking at who the mass shooters are and this and that, and it is J.D. Vance that entire week. He was taking these questions from the press like that. What are your thoughts about the racist comments? And he would nail it every time, day after day.
What do you say?
First of all, it's a comedian. I don't know why you're calling him a speaker. He was a comedian defending free speech. And where has our sense of humor gone?
Right.
How do you not know that was a joke? That's clearly a joke. Maybe it wasn't the right time or place. Maybe. I'm not even saying. Like, he was just taking the questions like he was a comedian. Like he understood the perspective of the mission. And common sense.
Hinchcliffe hit the nail on the head. He called out how J.D. Vance defended him when establishment media tried to cancel him for telling jokes at a Trump rally. That moment showed the country that it's the right that's standing up for free speech, while the left has become humorless scolds. And here's where you can still tell Maher is just a little too cozy with establishment media's narrative. He'll admit the left screwed everything up, but somehow still acts like the right is more dangerous. It might be time for him to have another dinner at the White House and refill his red pill prescription. But let me know what you think. Is the right the new counterculture for the foreseeable future, or will the left make a comeback? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.